Joe Biden is the fourth consecutive US president to carry out airstrikes in Yemen. Airstrikes in Yemen began under the Bush administration as a part of the War on Terror. Obama continued those War on Terror strikes, but then in the early 2010s, during the Arab Spring uprisings, the Houthis, which are a Shia militia, took power in different parts of Yemen, including the capital city, Sana'a. This led to a very large air campaign against Yemen, championed by Saudi Arabia and backed very heavily by the United States. Under the Trump administration, we saw an increase in those War on Terror direct strikes, as well as continued support for Saudi Arabia and others in the air war against Yemen. We are talking about a very devastating conflict. Hundreds of thousands of people died, and one of the biggest contributing factors was the blockade placed on Yemen. Flash forward to 2023, and we did get a very fragile ceasefire amongst the warring parties in Yemen. And then, ostensibly in response to the war in Gaza, the Houthis have begun attacking trade ships attempting to make their way through the Red Sea. And now in response, the US and Britain have carried out fairly substantial airstrikes within Yemen. Roughly 28 different locations were targeted. And now there is, of course, quite a bit of fear that things will escalate even further. While I completely agree the Houthis attacking civilian trade ships attempting to traverse international waters is completely unacceptable, I think a ceasefire in Gaza should be the top priority, but if the attacks continue even after that, I think you'd be able to get a far broader and more cohesive international consensus on what a military response should look like.